I'm Lena, 28 years old, 2 jobs, 1 studio apartment with a broken heater and a fridge that hums too loud at night. Nobody notices me. Not really. At family dinners, I'm the one who refills water glasses and clears plates while everyone else laughs at stories I'm not part of. At work, I'm the dependable one, the backup, the person managers call when someone else messes up. I don't mind. Or at least I tell myself I don't. My sister Savannah is different. She's 30, beautiful in that way that makes strangers do double takes. Long, dark hair, perfect skin. A laugh that fills entire rooms. She's getting married in 3 months to a guy named Trevor, who works in finance and wears watches that cost more than my car. Mom talks about the wedding every single day. The dress, the venue, the flowers, the cake. It's all she cares about. Dad just nods and writes checks. He always does whatever keeps Mom happy. And Mom is only happy when Savannah is happy. I learned that lesson young. When Savannah wanted dance lessons, I got library books. When she wanted a car at 16, I got a bike from a garage sale. When she cried, the world stopped. When I cried, I was told to grow up. So I did. I grew up quiet, invisible, useful. 3 months ago, Savannah called me crying. Trevor's parents promised to pay for the wedding, then backed out. Something about the stock market. She was hysterical. Mom was furious. Dad looked tired. I sat there listening to Savannah sob about losing her dream venue, her dream dress, her dream day. And I did what I always do. I fixed it. I opened my laptop that night and transferred $15,000 from my savings account. Money I'd been saving for years. Money from overtime shifts and skipped meals and never buying anything nice for myself. I called the venue, paid the deposit, then the caterer, then the florist. I set up an anonymous email account, told them I was a family friend who wanted to help, told Savannah the same thing when she asked who saved her wedding. She believed it immediately. Of course she did. People like Savannah always believe good things happen to them because they deserve it. Mom cried tears of joy. Dad looked relieved. Savannah posted on social media about her mysterious angel benefactor. Hundreds of comments poured in calling her blessed, lucky, special. Nobody suspected me. Why would they? I'm just Lena, the quiet one. The one with 2 jobs and thrift store clothes and a car that makes weird noises when it rains. I told myself it was worth it. I told myself I was doing something good, something selfless. That maybe this time, my family would see me differently. That maybe Savannah would realize I existed beyond being the sister who didn't matter. I was wrong. The bridal boutique appointment was on a Saturday. Savannah invited Mom, her 3 bridesmaids, and me as an afterthought. I took the morning shift off at the coffee shop. Lost $70. I couldn't afford to lose. The boutique was the kind of place that smelled like money and judged you for breathing wrong. Crystal chandeliers, white marble floors, champagne on silver trays. Savannah tried on 12 dresses, each one more expensive than the last, each one met with squeals and gasps, and phone cameras capturing every angle. I stood in the corner holding purses and half-empty champagne flutes nobody wanted anymore. Then she found the one, ivory silk, hand-stitched lace, a train that pooled on the floor like liquid light. She looked beautiful. She knew it. Everyone knew it. The price tag said $8,000. Mom didn't even blink. She just smiled and said, "Put it on Lena's card." I froze. Savannah turned to me. Expectant. Impatient. "Lena, give them your card." My stomach dropped. My card was maxed. I'd used every available dollar on deposits I couldn't tell anyone about. But I couldn't say that. Not without explaining everything. Not without ruining the lie I'd built. I handed the card over anyway. The clerk swiped it. Once. Twice. Then looked up with that apologetic smile people give when they know you can't afford something. "I'm sorry. It's been declined." The room went silent. Savannah's face changed. Her smile disappeared. Her eyes went cold. "What?" "The card declined," the clerk repeated quietly. Savannah looked at me like I'd just committed a crime. "Are you serious right now?" I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. "You knew we were coming here. You knew I was buying my dress today. And you bring a maxed out card?" Mom stepped forward. "Lena, what's going on?" I couldn't breathe. 47 people were staring at me. Bridesmaids, other brides, store employees, everyone watching the invisible girl finally be seen for all the wrong reasons. You're so selfish," Savannah snapped, her voice sharp, vicious. "You can't even do this one thing for me. On my wedding day. It's not your wedding day yet, I whispered. Wrong thing to say. Her hand moved faster than I expected. The slap cracked across my cheek so hard my vision blurred. My face burned. My ears rang. The room gasped. Savannah's engagement ring left a small cut under my eye. I felt blood. Warm. Wet. Nobody moved. Mom stared. The bridesmaids looked away. The clerk pretended to be busy with a computer screen. Savannah didn't apologize. She just turned back to the mirror, adjusted her veil, smoothed the silk dress she couldn't buy. "Get out," she said quietly. "You're embarrassing me." So I left. I walked out of that boutique with a bloody face and a heart that finally cracked open. And for the first time in 28 years, I stopped being quiet. The boutique smelled like roses and money, white marble everywhere, gold fixtures, champagne glasses on trays carried by women in black dresses who smiled like they pitied you. Savannah was trying on her 7th dress when I checked my phone for the 3rd time that hour. My shift at the diner started in 4 hours. I needed to leave soon or I'd hit traffic. "Lena, pay attention," Mom's voice. Sharp. I looked up. Savannah was standing on a platform in front of 3 full-length mirrors. The dress was ivory silk with lace sleeves. Beautiful. Expensive. She looked like a magazine cover. Her bridesmaids clapped. Mom cried. Someone took a photo. I stayed in the corner holding everyone's purses. "This is it," Savannah whispered. "This is the one." The sales clerk appeared instantly. Tablet in hand. Smile too wide. "Excellent choice. This is one of our signature pieces. Hand-stitched Italian lace. Silk imported from—" "How much?" Mom interrupted. $8,000. Nobody flinched. Not Mom. Not Savannah. Not the bridesmaids who couldn't afford their own rent. Because they all knew Dad would pay. He always did. Except Dad wasn't here. He was at work, and Mom's card was already maxed from the engagement party. The clerk looked at me. "We can put it on your card and your parents can reimburse you later." My stomach dropped. Lena, just give her your card," Savannah said without looking at me. I pulled my wallet out. My hands shook. I knew what was going to happen before it happened. The clerk took my card, swiped it once, frowned, swiped again. Then that smile. The one that says sorry but also says I knew you couldn't afford to be here. It declined. The room went silent. Savannah turned slowly. Her veil swayed. Her face changed from bride to something else. Something cold. "What?" "The card declined," the clerk repeated. "Try it again." I did, twice. Savannah stepped off the platform, walked toward me, still wearing the $8,000 dress. "You're joking." "I'm sorry, I didn't." "You didn't what? Check your account? Plan ahead? Think about anyone but yourself?" My face burned. Everyone was staring. Other brides, other families, staff pretending not to listen. "Savannah, I can call Dad. I don't want Dad. I wanted you to do one thing. One thing, Lena. And you can't even do that." Mom touched her arm. "Sweetie, let's just—" "No." Savannah jerked away. "I'm so sick of this. She shows up late. She never helps with anything. And now she embarrasses me in front of everyone with a maxed-out credit card?" Tears blurred my vision. "I've been helping." "Helping? You've done nothing. You don't care about this wedding. You don't care about me." "That's not true." "Then prove it." Silence. I opened my mouth. Closed it. The truth sat on my tongue like a stone. I paid for everything. The venue, the flowers, the cake, the photographer. Thousands of dollars from 2 jobs and no sleep and skipped meals. But I couldn't say it. If I said it, I'd ruin everything. The surprise. The mystery benefactor story Savannah loved telling. The gratitude I thought I'd finally earn. So I stayed quiet. And that's when she hit me. The slap came fast. Hard. Her engagement ring caught my cheekbone and split the skin. Pain exploded across my face. My ears rang. Something warm dripped down my jaw. Blood. The room gasped. Someone dropped a champagne glass. It shattered on marble. I touched my face. My fingers came back red. Savannah didn't apologize. She just stood there, breathing hard, still wearing the dress. "Get out," she said quietly. I looked at Mom. She looked away. I looked at the bridesmaids. They looked at their phones. Nobody said anything. Nobody moved. So I left. I walked past the mirrors, past the champagne, past the other brides who watched me like I was a warning. I walked out into the parking lot, got in my car, locked the doors, and I sat there, face bleeding, hands shaking, heart breaking. For 28 years, I stayed quiet because I thought it kept the peace. I was wrong. Silence didn't keep anything. It just made me disappear. Not anymore. I didn't cry on the drive home. I thought I would, but the tears wouldn't come. Just this cold, empty feeling that spread through my chest like frost. My apartment was dark when I got there. I didn't turn on the lights. Just sat on the couch, still wearing my jacket, still tasting blood. My phone buzzed. Mom. I ignored it. It buzzed again. Savannah. I turned it off. The cut on my face had stopped bleeding, but it throbbed. I should have cleaned it, put ice on it, done something. Instead, I opened my laptop. The screen glowed blue in the dark. I logged into my bank account, stared at the numbers. $243. That's what was left. After years of saving. After every extra shift and skipped dinner and birthday where I bought myself nothing. $243. I clicked on transaction history. March 15th. Venue deposit. $5,000. March 22nd. Catering down payment. $4,000. April 3rd. Florist. $1,200. April 18th. Photographer. $2,000. May 2nd. Cake. $800. May 9th. DJ. $1,500. The list went on. And on. And on. $17,000 total. $17,000 I'd given to a wedding for a sister who just slapped me in public. My hands hovered over the keyboard. I could leave it. Pretend nothing happened. Show up at the wedding in 3 months and smile while everyone celebrated Savannah's perfect day funded by her mysterious angel. Or, I opened a new tab, typed in the venue's website, found their contact page. My finger stayed on the mouse for a long time. Then I clicked. The email was simple, professional. I explained there'd been a mistake. Family circumstances had changed. I needed to cancel and request a refund per their cancellation policy. I sent it. Then I opened the caterer's website, sent the same email, then the florist, then the photographer, then the DJ, then the cake designer, one by one, methodically, calmly. Each email felt like pulling a nail out of my own coffin. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel sad. I felt nothing. Just this quiet certainty that I was finally doing something for myself. The last email went to the dress boutique. I explained I was the anonymous donor who'd been funding the wedding. I was withdrawing all financial support effective immediately. I hit send. Before I tell you what happened next, drop a comment and tell me, would you have done the same thing? And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because this story gets wild. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happens when they find out. Then I closed my laptop, sat in the dark, and waited. My phone was still off, but I knew what was coming. The calls, the texts, the panic. Let them panic. For 28 years I carried other people's problems, fixed other people's messes, made myself small so they could feel big. Not anymore. I got up, went to the bathroom, finally looked in the mirror. The cut under my eye was dark purple around the edges, swollen, ugly. But I didn't look away. I cleaned it, put a bandage on it, washed my face. When I came back to the living room, I turned my phone on. 63 messages. I deleted them all without reading. Then I blocked Savannah's number, blocked Mom's number, blocked everyone except my boss and my landlord. The apartment was silent again, but this time the silence felt different, not empty, free. I made tea, sat by the window, watched the city lights blur in the distance. Somewhere across town, Savannah's perfect wedding was falling apart. Vendors were canceling, deposits were being refunded. Her dream day was dissolving like sugar in water. And I felt nothing. No guilt, no regret, no second thoughts, just peace. Cold, quiet, unshakable peace. I sipped my tea. Tomorrow the real fallout would start. Tomorrow they'd come looking for answers. But tonight I was done being invisible. Tonight I finally mattered. To myself. The first call came at 6 in the morning. I was awake. Hadn't really slept. Just stared at the ceiling waiting for the world to catch fire. My phone lit up. Unknown number. I let it ring. Then another call. Another unknown number. Then a text from a number I didn't recognize. This is Magnolia Events. We received your cancellation request. Please call us immediately to discuss. I deleted it. More calls, more texts. Vendors I'd paid, vendors I'd emailed. All of them confused, all of them urgent. I turned my phone on silent, made coffee, sat by the window. Across town, Savannah was waking up to a nightmare. I didn't have to imagine it. I knew exactly how it was going. The venue would call first, professional, apologetic, explaining the deposit was being refunded due to a cancellation request from the anonymous benefactor. Savannah would laugh, say it was a mistake, a misunderstanding. Then the caterer would call, then the florist, then the photographer, one by one, like dominoes, and Savannah would stop laughing. My phone buzzed against the table. I glanced at it. 47 missed calls, 12 voicemails, 93 texts. I didn't open any of them. Around noon, someone knocked on my door. I looked through the peephole. Brandon, my younger brother, 25, the only one who ever bothered to check on me. I opened the door. Jesus, Lena. His eyes went straight to the bruise on my face. What happened? You should see the other guy, I said flatly. He didn't laugh. Mom's losing it. Savannah's losing it. The wedding's falling apart. Everything's getting canceled and nobody knows why. Sounds stressful. Lena, come on. What's going on? I leaned against the doorframe. Did they tell you what happened yesterday? Mom said you embarrassed Savannah at the boutique. That's what she said? Yeah, something about your card declining. I nodded slowly. Anything else? No. She just said you left and now you won't answer your phone. And everything's a mess. Did she mention Savannah hit me? Brandon's face changed. What? I pointed at my cheek. Right here, in front of everyone. Split my face open with her engagement ring. He stared. She hit you? Slapped me. Hard. Then told me to get out. And Mom didn't. Mom looked away. Silence. Brandon rubbed his face. I didn't know. Of course you didn't. Because they don't tell you the parts that make them look bad. Lena, I'm sorry. I paid for the wedding, Brandon. He blinked. What? The venue. The caterer. The flowers. The photographer. Everything. $17,000. I've been funding it for months. His mouth opened. Nothing came out. I set up an anonymous email. Told everyone I was a family friend. Let Savannah think some mysterious angel was saving her dream wedding. And yesterday she slapped me because my credit card declined. Brandon sat down on my couch without asking. You've been paying for everything? Everything. And nobody knew? Nobody. Why? I shrugged. Because I'm stupid. Because I thought maybe if I did something big enough, someone would finally notice me, finally see me as more than the backup daughter. So you canceled everything. Last night. Every vendor. Every deposit. All of it. He was quiet for a long time. Then he laughed. Not mean, just tired. They have no idea, do they? They still don't know it was you? Nope. What are you going to tell them? Nothing. Lena, I'm done, Brandon. I'm done being invisible. Done fixing everyone's problems. Done making myself small so Savannah can feel big. My phone buzzed again. And again. And again. Brandon looked at it. They're not going to stop. Let them call. I've got nothing to say. He stood up, hesitated. For what it's worth. I think you did the right thing. Yeah? Yeah. They've been using you for years. You just finally stopped letting them. He left. I locked the door behind him. Picked up my phone. 112 missed calls now. I powered it off completely. Sat back down by the window. And smiled. They showed up on day 3. I was eating cereal in my pajamas when someone pounded on the door. Not knocking. Pounding. I looked through the peephole. Mom, Savannah, both of them. I almost didn't open it. Almost let them stand there until they gave up. But I was tired of running. I unlocked the door. Didn't open it all the way. Just enough to see their faces. Savannah looked terrible. Eyes red. Hair unwashed. No makeup. Mom looked furious. We need to talk, Mom said. So talk. Can we come in? No. Savannah's voice cracked. Lena, please. Everything's falling apart. The venue won't return our calls. The caterer says someone canceled. The florist refunded our deposit. We don't understand what's happening. I leaned against the doorframe, said nothing. We think someone's sabotaging the wedding, Mom said. Maybe Trevor's ex or one of his crazy relatives. But we need your help figuring this out. My help? Yes. We need to contact all the vendors. Get everything back on track. The wedding's in 2 months. I looked at Savannah, really looked at her. How's your hand? She blinked. What? Your hand. The one you hit me with. Is it sore? Her face went pale. Mom stepped forward. Lena, that was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. I touched the bruise under my eye, still purple, still swollen. Is that what we're calling assault now? She was stressed, Mom said. You embarrassed her in front of everyone. I embarrassed her. Your card declined. At the worst possible moment. Yeah. Funny thing about that. I crossed my arms. Want to know why my card declined? Neither of them answered. Because I spent $17,000 paying for Savannah's wedding. Silence. Savannah's mouth opened. What are you talking about? The venue. The caterer. The flowers. The photographer. The DJ. The cake. Every single deposit. I paid for all of it. Mom's face changed. That's not possible. Check the email. The anonymous benefactor everyone's been talking about? That was me. Savannah shook her head. You're lying. I pulled out my phone. Opened my email. Showed them the sent folder. Months of messages. Invoices. Payment confirmations. They both stared. I worked 2 jobs. I said quietly. Saved for years. Gave up everything. And I did it all anonymously because I thought maybe this time you'd appreciate me. Maybe this time I'd matter. Mom's voice was barely a whisper. Lena. Then Savannah hit me. In public. Because I couldn't afford an $8,000 dress after funding her entire dream wedding. Savannah's legs looked shaky. I didn't know. You didn't ask. If you just told me. Told you what? That I was bankrupting myself to make you happy? That I skipped meals so you could have handmade invitations? That I worked overnight shifts so you could have roses instead of carnations? Tears ran down Savannah's face. I'm sorry. You hit me. I know. I'm sorry. I was stressed and I wasn't thinking. You hit me and Mom looked away. Mom flinched. I was in shock. You were embarrassed. Not of Savannah. Of me. That's not fair. Isn't it? I looked at her. Really looked at her. When's the last time you asked how I was doing? When's the last time you called me just to talk? When's the last time you saw me as anything other than Savannah's backup? Mom's eyes filled with tears. You've always been so independent, so strong. I thought you didn't need. Everyone needs their mother. Silence. Savannah wiped her face. Can you fix it? Can you call the vendors back? We'll pay you back. I promise. I almost laughed. No. Lena, please. I canceled everything. Asked for refunds. It's done. You can't do this. I already did. This is my wedding, and this is my life. I stepped back. Started. Closing the door. I'm done being invisible. Done fixing your problems. Done pretending I don't matter. Lena. She hit me, Mom. Mom opened her mouth. Closed it. And you let her. I closed the door. Locked it. Leaned against it, and listened to them argue in the hallway. Then footsteps. Fading. Silence. I slid down to the floor. And finally. I cried. The first week without them was strange. No calls. No texts. No emergencies I had to fix. Just silence. I woke up on Monday and realized I didn't have to check my phone. Didn't have to brace myself for Savannah's crisis, or Mom's guilt trip, or another favor I couldn't afford. I just woke up. Made coffee. Watched the sun come through my window. Ate breakfast without rushing. It felt wrong at first. Like I was forgetting something important. But I wasn't. For the first time in years, nothing was on fire. I called my boss at the diner, quit the overnight shifts, kept the morning ones because I actually liked them. I called my other boss at the coffee shop, asked for weekends off. She said yes. I had Saturdays and Sundays free for the first time since I was 22. I didn't know what to do with them. So I walked. Just walked around the city. No destination. No purpose. Just me and my headphones in streets I'd never bothered exploring before. I found a bookstore I'd passed 100 times but never entered. Spent 2 hours inside. Bought 3 books with money that used to go to Savannah's wedding. I read one in a coffee shop. The whole thing. Cover to cover. Didn't check my phone once. It was the most peace I'd felt in years. Brandon texted me on day 9. You okay? Yeah, you? Mom's not speaking to me. I told her you were right. Sorry. Don't be. She needed to hear it. I didn't answer. Just sent a thumbs up. He sent back a photo. Him holding a pizza. Come over this weekend. No drama. Just food. I smiled. Maybe. On day 12, I started cooking. Real. Cooking. Not ramen or cereal or whatever I could microwave between shifts. Actual meals with vegetables and spices and recipes I found online. I made pasta from scratch. Burned it the first time. Nailed it the second. I made soup that filled my apartment with the smell of garlic and thyme. I baked bread. Bread. I didn't even know I could do that, but I could. And it was good. I ate dinner at my table instead of standing over the sink. Used an actual plate. Poured water in a real glass instead of drinking from the tap. Small things. But they mattered. On day 15, I joined a yoga class. I'd always wanted to try it, but never had time. Now I did. The instructor was kind. Didn't push. Just guided. I was terrible at it. Couldn't hold half the poses. Fell over twice. But nobody laughed. Nobody judged. I went back the next day. On day 18, a letter came. No return address. Just my name and handwriting I recognized. Savannah's. I stared at it for a long time before opening. The letter was 2 pages, handwritten, messy, like she'd been crying while writing it. It started with, "I'm sorry." She explained everything. The stress, the pressure, the fear that nothing would be perfect, the shame of losing control in the boutique. She said she didn't know I was paying for everything. Said if she'd known she never would have treated me that way. She said she loved me. She said she hoped I could forgive her someday. The letter ended with, "I don't expect you to come to the wedding. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry." I read it twice. Then I folded it, put it back in the envelope, set it on the counter, and I felt nothing. Not anger, not sadness, not even relief. Just nothing. The apology was nice, but it didn't change anything. She hit me. Mom let her. And for weeks after, they only came looking for me when they needed something fixed. Not because they missed me, because I was useful. I didn't write back. Not out of spite, not out of revenge. I just didn't have anything to say. Some people spend their whole lives waiting for an apology that will fix everything. But apologies don't fix anything. They're just words. What fixes things is distance, boundaries, choosing yourself. I chose myself, and for the first time in 28 years, I wasn't tired. I was free. Brandon called on a Tuesday night. I was reading on the couch, one of the books I'd bought. A mystery novel I couldn't put down. "Hey," I said. "Hey." He sounded tired. "You busy?" "Not really." "What's up?" Silence. Then a sigh. "Savannah's moving." I closed my book. "Moving where?" "Portland. She and Trevor are leaving next month. Fresh start and all that." "Okay. The wedding's off. Obviously. They're just gonna do a courthouse thing out there. Small. Quiet. Good for them. She wants to say goodbye." My stomach tightened. "Brandon." "I know. I told her you probably wouldn't want to. But she asked me to ask, so I'm asking." I looked out the window, city lights blinking in the distance. What would be the point? I don't know. Closure maybe? I got closure when I stopped answering the phone. He laughed. Sad. Quiet. "Yeah, I figured you'd say that." "Did she get my letter?" "What letter?" "I didn't send one. That's my point. She sent me an apology. I didn't respond. That's my closure. She's really sorry, Lena. She's been a mess." "Good." Silence again. Longer this time. "That's cold," he said. "Is it?" She hit me. Mom defended her. "They only came looking for me when the wedding fell apart. Not because they cared. Because they needed something." "I know. So why should I give her closure? Why should I make her feel better about what she did?" "Because you're better than that." I laughed. Actually laughed. Better than what? Better than someone who finally chose herself? That's not what I meant. "Then what did you mean?" He was quiet. Then he said, "I just don't want you to regret this later, when it's too late." "I won't." "How do you know?" "Because I spent 28 years making myself small for people who never noticed. And the second I stopped, they panicked. Not because they missed me, because I wasn't useful anymore." "Lena?" "No. Listen. Some chapters close themselves, Brandon. This is one of them. Savannah doesn't need my forgiveness to move on. She just wants it so she can stop feeling guilty. Real talk. Have you ever had to cut someone off for your own peace? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, Do it now because Lena's transformation is just getting started. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe it's not. But I'm done being fair to people who were never fair to me. He sighed. All right, I'll tell her. Thanks. For what? For asking. For not pushing. For being the only one who ever bothered to check on me. His voice softened. You're my sister. So is Savannah. Yeah, but you're the one who deserves better. My throat tightened. Brandon. You stopped being her safety net, Lena. Now you can be your own. I didn't know what to say to that. So I just said, I'm trying. I know. And you're doing great. We talked for a few more minutes. About nothing important. His job. His apartment. A movie he wanted to see. Normal stuff. Then he said he had to go. Hey, Brandon? Yeah? Thanks. For not picking sides. There are no sides. There's just what's right. He hung up. I sat there holding my phone. Savannah was moving, starting over, building a new life somewhere far away. And I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no urge to fix things one last time. Just peace. The kind of peace that comes from knowing you don't owe anyone anything. Not forgiveness, not closure, not one more piece of yourself. I picked my book back up, opened to the page I'd left off, and kept reading. Some chapters closed themselves, and that's okay. The email, it came on a Thursday. Subject line, junior accountant position, interview request. I stared at it for a full minute before opening. I'd applied 3 weeks ago. Didn't think I'd hear back. The company was big, professional, the kind of place that wanted degrees and experience I didn't have. But they wanted an interview. Next Tuesday, 10 in the morning. I said yes before I could talk myself out of it. The weekend before, I bought new clothes, nothing expensive. Just a blazer that fit and pants that weren't worn through at the knees. I practiced answers in the mirror. Felt stupid doing it. Did it anyway. Tuesday came. The building was downtown. Glass and steel. Revolving doors that made me feel small. I almost turned around twice, but I didn't. The receptionist smiled, pointed me to the elevator. 7th floor. The waiting room had leather chairs and magazines nobody read. 2 other people sat waiting. Both looked more qualified than me. I checked my phone. Nothing. Nobody. For once, that felt good. Lena? A woman in her 40s stood in the doorway. Sharp suit. Kind eyes. I followed her to an office. She gestured to a chair. I sat. I'm Patricia. I'll be conducting your interview today. Nice to meet you. She smiled. Opened a folder with my resume inside. So, tell me about yourself. I'd practiced this. Had a whole script ready. Education, skills, experience, but what came out was different. I just quit my second job. Patricia's eyebrows raised. Oh? I was working 2 jobs for 6 years, saved every dollar, then I spent it all on something that didn't matter, and I walked away. What made you walk away? I touched the fading bruise under my eye, almost gone now, but still there. I realized I was making myself invisible for people who never saw me anyway. Silence. I thought I'd blown it. Thought she'd thank me politely and show me the door. Instead, she leaned back in her chair. Why do you want this job? Because I'm good with numbers. Always have been. I can see patterns other people miss. I'm reliable. I show up. I don't quit when things get hard. Those are good qualities. And because I'm tired of being invisible, I want to work somewhere that notices when I do good work. Somewhere I'm not just the backup plan. Patricia studied me. You've been undervalued. Yes. For a long time. Yes. She closed the folder. Can you start Monday? I blinked. What? The position's yours if you want it. 9 to 5. Benefits. Paid time off. Room to grow if you're willing to learn. You're offering me the job? I am. But I barely have experience. There were other candidates. The other candidates had experience. You have something better. She smiled. You know what it's like to be overlooked. That makes you notice things. Details. Problems. People who need help but won't ask for it. My eyes burned. I don't know what to say. Say yes. Yes. She stood, shook my hand. Welcome aboard. I left the building in a daze. Stood on the sidewalk in my new blazer with a job offer I didn't expect, and I laughed. Just stood there and laughed like an idiot. A woman walking by gave me a strange look. I didn't care. I called Brandon. I got a job. That's amazing. Where? Downtown. Accounting firm. 9 to 5. Benefits. Lena, that's huge. I know. We should celebrate. Dinner this weekend? Yeah, that sounds good. I hung up, walked to the coffee shop on the corner, ordered something expensive, whipped cream, caramel drizzle, the whole thing, sat by the window and watched people rush past. For 6 years I rushed like that, running between jobs, between problems that weren't mine, between versions of myself that nobody wanted. Not anymore. I had weekends now, and a job that saw me, and time to figure out who I was when I wasn't fixing everyone else. My phone buzzed. Brandon, proud of you. I smiled, typed back, me too. And I meant it. For the first time in my life, I was proud of myself. Not for what I did for others, for what I finally did for me. The call came 3 months later. I was at my desk, lunch break, eating sushi I'd bought myself because I could afford it now. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? Silence. Then breathing. Lena? Savannah. My chest tightened. How did you get this number? Brandon gave it to me. I'm sorry. I know you didn't want to talk, but I needed to. Her voice cracked. I needed to hear your voice. I put down my chopsticks. What do you want, Savannah? Nothing. I don't want anything. I just... She took a shaky breath. I'm in Portland now. We got married last week. Courthouse. Just us and 2 witnesses. Congratulations. Thank you. Pause. It was quiet. Simple. Nothing like what I'd planned. I said nothing. And the whole time I kept thinking about you. About what you did. What I did. Savannah. Let me finish. Please. I waited. I've been going to therapy. Trevor suggested it after everything fell apart, and my therapist asked me to make a list of people I'd hurt, people I needed to make amends with. I got your letter. I know. You didn't write back. No. I don't blame you. Her voice was small, tired. What I did was unforgivable. I hit you. I humiliated you. And you were paying for everything. Everything, Lena. And I didn't even notice. My throat tightened. No. You didn't. I was so focused on having the perfect wedding that I forgot about being a decent person, a decent sister. Yeah. Silence again. Longer this time. My therapist asked me why I hit you, she said quietly, and I couldn't answer. I said it was stress, that I was overwhelmed, but that's not why. Then why? Because deep down I've always known you were better than me, kinder, stronger, more selfless, and I hated it. I hated that you made it look easy while I was falling apart over centerpieces and seating charts. I closed my eyes. Savannah, you were invisible because I needed you to be. Because if people actually saw you, they'd realize I wasn't special. I was just loud. A tear slid down my cheek. I never wanted to compete with you. I know, that's what made it worse. She laughed, bitter, sad. You just existed. And somehow that was threatening. I'm not your enemy. I know that now. We sat in silence, just breathing on opposite ends of the country. I'm not calling to ask for forgiveness, she finally said. I know I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I understand now. What you did by walking away. It wasn't cruel. It was survival. It was. And I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you chose yourself, because nobody else was going to. My voice cracked. I waited 28 years for someone to choose me. I'm sorry it took losing you for me to see you. I wiped my face. I hope Portland's good to you. It is. It's quiet here. Slower. I think I needed that. Good. Are you happy, Lena? I looked around my office, my desk with photos I'd chosen, my coffee mug, my jacket on the chair. Yeah, I think I am. Good. That's good. She sniffled. I should let you go. Okay. Lena? Yeah? Thank you. For everything you did, even though I didn't deserve it. You're welcome. And I'm sorry. For everything I didn't do. I nodded even though she couldn't see. I know. Goodbye, Lena. Goodbye, Savannah. She hung up. I sat there holding my phone, crying quietly at my desk. Not from pain, not from anger, from release. The closure I didn't think I needed. The acknowledgement I'd stopped waiting for. It didn't fix everything. Didn't erase the past. But it mattered. She saw me. Finally. And that was enough. 6 months after everything fell apart, I stood in my new apartment. Not the studio with the broken heater and the humming fridge. A real apartment. 1 bedroom. Windows that let in actual sunlight. A kitchen where I could cook without hitting my elbows on the walls. I'd signed the lease last week, moved in yesterday. Brandon helped. Carried boxes up 3 flights of stairs without complaining once. Ordered pizza after. Sat on my empty floor and ate from the box like we were kids again. "This place is great," he said. "It's mine." I looked around. "That's what makes it great." He smiled. "You did it. You actually did it." "Did what?" "Got out. Built something for yourself." I shrugged. "I just stopped building for everyone else." He raised his pizza slice. "To stopping." I laughed, clinked my slice against his. "To stopping." Work was good, better than good. Patricia promoted me after 4 months. More responsibility, more pay, more respect. People knew my name there, asked my opinion, noticed when I did good work. I wasn't invisible anymore. I made friends too, real ones. Coworkers who invited me to happy hour. A girl from yoga class who texted me memes. A neighbor who knocked on my door to borrow sugar and stayed for coffee. Small connections. But they mattered. They chose to see me, and I let them. On Saturday mornings I went to the farmer's market, bought fresh vegetables and bread from the woman who remembered my name, made meals that filled my apartment with smells that felt like home. On Sunday afternoons I read, finished 1 book, started another, let myself get lost in stories that weren't mine. I didn't work 2 jobs anymore, didn't run myself into the ground trying to prove I mattered. I just lived, quietly, peacefully, on my own terms. Mom called once. 2 months after everything happened. "I miss you," she said. "I miss you too. Can we talk? Really talk? Maybe someday, but not yet." She didn't push, just said okay, said she loved me, said she was sorry. I believed her, but I wasn't ready. Maybe I never would be, and that was okay. Some relationships don't survive the truth, and forcing them only makes the wound deeper. I kept 1 photo of Savannah and me, taken when we were kids, both of us smiling, gap-toothed and sunburned and happy, before everything got complicated. Before I learned to disappear. I didn't keep it out of nostalgia, or hope that things would go back to how they were. I kept it as a reminder of who I used to be, and who I'd never be again. The girl in that photo thought love meant sacrifice, thought being needed meant being valued, thought silence kept the peace. She was wrong. Love isn't sacrifice, it's reciprocity. Being needed isn't the same as being valued, and silence doesn't keep the peace. It just buries the war until it explodes. I learned that the hard way, but I learned. On a Tuesday night, I sat on my couch in my new apartment, cup of tea in my hands, city lights glowing through the window. My phone was silent, no emergencies, no crises, no one needing me to fix what they broke. Just silence, the good kind, the kind that feels like freedom. I thought about the girl I used to be, the one who worked 2 jobs and skipped meals and made herself invisible so everyone else could shine. I didn't miss her, but I was grateful to her, because she survived long enough to become me. Someone who knows her worth, someone who doesn't apologize for taking up space, someone who finally understands that you can't pour from an empty cup, and my cup, it's full now. Not from what others give me, from what I finally gave myself. Peace bought through silence isn't peace. It's control wrapped in ribbons. Real peace comes from choosing yourself. Even when it's hard. Even when it hurts. Even when everyone tells you you're wrong. I chose myself, and I do it again. Every single time. Story's over. Emotions are peaked. Satisfaction is high. Asking what resonated personalizes the experience and generates diverse comments. Subscribe for more like this. Capitalizes on the emotional high and desire for similar content.